evening, Liberty parents, grandparents, students, family, and friends of Liberty. My name is Casey Churchill, and I am Liberty's elementary school principal. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Liberty first grader Cipriano Duran.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the school captains please post the colors? Thank you. Please be seated. For my elementary school colleagues who join me in this ceremony today, and for me personally, it is a privilege of a lifetime to be here with these graduates, so many of whom we knew as young children, to see them graduating now and completing their Liberty journey. Congratulations, Liberty seniors. Please know how exceedingly proud all of your elementary instructors are of your heroic academic accomplishments. Now let's begin our inspiring and fun ceremony. First, I want us all to agree that graduation should be fun and exciting celebration. Cheering, whooping, and tasteful expressions of pride and family support are totally in order today. There you go. At this time, I am pleased to introduce my colleague, Liberty Common High School Assistant Principal, Dr. Robert Robinson, and Liberty Common High School 7th grader, Caleb Carney.
Good morning. My name is Caleb Kearney. Yesterday, I completed the 7th grade, and I have attended Liberty since kindergarten. On January 10th, 49 BC, Julius Caesar's 13th Legion crossed the River Rubicon to launch Caesar's civil war against Rome. On the same day, January 10th, in 2013, Liberty launched its own Legion of 13, 2,062 years later. The order recognizes those seniors who have attended Liberty for 13 years, starting in kindergarten. In this year's graduating class, there are 13. They are the newest members of Liberty's Legion of 13. Their names are now permanently fixed on the rock wall in the Agora. Amid a display celebrating the completion of 13 years. Starting with Liberty's first graduating class of 2013. Rubicon in Latin means red. As such, the Legion of 13 members wear the red key and sit in red chairs. Will the escorts please escort the Legion of 13 to their seats and post the Legion's standards nearby?
After receiving their red keys last January, the 13ers headed to the elementary to give the kindergartners white challenge keys to wear. The white keys challenge the kindergartners to complete 13 years at Liberty and to join the Legion of 13 12 years from now in 2033. We'll look forward to seeing them then. You'll see some of those kindergartners later participating in today's ceremony. In fact, they'll be bringing each graduate's diploma up to the stage for presentation. Members of the Legion have been on hand to welcome all the rest of their classmates into the school along their journey. They have embraced the school's character since their first day of kindergarten in August of 2008. As the first students in this class to attend Liberty, today they will be the last to graduate. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you, Legion of 13. You may be seated. For the purposes of celebrating this year's valedictorian and salutatorian, I now introduce to you the headmaster of Liberty Common Schools, Mr. Bob Schaefer.
High achievement among our students is revered and venerated throughout Liberty Common School. And to achieve the highest academic performance among a field of the state's highest academic performers is a glorious accomplishment. With the school year now now over, and the scores in, it is my honor to announce the 2021 valedictorian and salutatorian. Now, both awardees are not just academic leaders, they are leaders to their core. And they have led the way to defining and developing the school, its character, and the school's moral and academic seriousness. It is through their combined efforts that Liberty becomes better known nationally as a top academic institution, as a formidable competitor, and widely known as a school that produces outstanding young leaders of high virtue and consistent moral integrity. I'll start by recognizing our salutatorian, earning the school's second highest grade point average, representing Domus Temperantiae, Miss Gwen Willis. Our valedictorian, earning the school's highest grade point average, representing Domus Temperantiae, Miss Sunny Taylor.
On behalf of the class of 2021, I would like to thank everyone who has made this train wreck of a year a little more normal. To the school, the administration, and the teachers, we thank you. To the custodians, the board, and everyone else who made this year possible, we thank you. Although the desk shields may have a glare more blinding than our dear principal's head, it's been a blessing to have such relatively small annoyances. Class of 2021, if we survived Zoom American Lit as juniors, we can survive anything. In a year of chaos, we have succeeded, and I have no doubts that we will continue to do so. Although our elementary school plans of becoming princesses and superheroes may have fallen through, Grace and Gwen might actually cure cancer. Ben will solve the unsolvable math problems. And I'm even told Griffin might program Google into obsolescence in his free time. We've had outlandishly high test scores and have made it to incredible places. In a year where most students were confined to Zoom, we thrived behind our stuffy masks and desk shields. Truly, to be surrounded by a class so determined and talented is humbling. Y'all have taught me so much. So now is my chance to give back with a little unsolicited advice. I may stand here today as valedictorian, but it feels a little empty now that I look around and see all of the friendships that I failed. I may be going to a good college, but honestly, I sold a part of my soul to make it happen. I flaked on my friends and missed so many opportunities to make memories under the convenient guise of being productive. But honestly, we have our whole lives to be productive. To all the underclassmen here, I hope you remember this. Take the classes you want. Find the things you love to do. Go outside and enjoy the beauty of this state we take for granted. Make plans with your friends. You will be okay. Life will go on and you will be happier. Please don't let the paranoia of having a sensible plan overshadow your actual life, especially right now. You are smart and resourceful, and you can trust yourself to figure things out. I didn't understand the importance of this until now. I regret spending what could have been carefree days stressing about grades that will sort themselves out. about a future that will come together. Academic success is a great accomplishment, but finding peace and happiness is far more fulfilling. However, to all the people that have done their best to show me this lesson, I owe infinite thanks. To the people that pulled me away from the practical and towards the important, you're the only reason that I'm still somewhat sane. So thank you to my grandparents and parents for their unconditional love and support. To Mrs. Lannon for persuading me to join robotics. To Mrs. Salazar for convincing me you can make good art without knowing how to draw. To Mr. Holton and Mr. Tullius for making me question what on earth I'm doing with my life. For Sydney, to telling me when I'm stupid. To Sarah, for introducing me to the healing power of waffles. To Noah, for showing me that all the magic in this world is just a random adventure away. And finally, to Richard Bosch. He may only be a freshman, but without even trying, he has shown us all that there is nothing more admirable than kindness. Class of 2021, I'm grateful to have shared this time with you. I wish you all the best, and I can't wait to see what the future holds.
The members of the class of 2021 selected one of their own to deliver remarks on behalf of the entire class. Sorry. Thank you. Please direct your attention to our choir over here on the south end of the field. Choir is awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Andrew Wallace in the Liberty Common High School Choir. That was fantastic. Let's try this part again. The members of the class of 2021 selected one of their own to deliver remarks on behalf of the entire class. The senior selected to address us now is an admired friend among many, an erudite student, and an articulate leader. These are among the talents he displayed over his years attending Liberty Common School. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the lectern, from Domus Prudentii, Mr. Evan Hansen. It's all right here if you want.
Awesome. Wow, those were very kind words from Mr. Lovely. And to start, I want to thank my classmates for choosing me to give this address. It means a lot to me to be up here and to have the chance to say a few things about our class and the future that's ahead of us. I want to continue with a poem by Bailey Liber and John Mitchum that I found early on this year. I don't remember how I came across it, but every once in a while I would read it or listen to it, and it put a lot of things into perspective for me as I thought about my senior year that was ahead and the future that extended far beyond it. So here it is. On a trail drive from Texas down by the Rio Grande, we drove past the Medina to a dry and bitter land, where before the Longhorn streamed along, grass range once was there. Now we herded them in silence with a feeling of despair. The day was hot, the wind was dry, and the mesquite barred the way. The maguey and the cactus tried to drain our lives away. We came upon a ranch house dying in the desert sun. Looked the old spread over, but couldn't see anyone. And then from the ranch house, a man stepped out. He was old beyond his years, an old gentleman whose eyes filled up with tears. I have nothing for you, my friends, he said. My hacienda's empty now. There was a time. He shook his head and gave a gentle bow. I asked him why he'd stayed on in a place where hope was dead. He looked up at me, his face grew soft, and this is what he said. Mis raíces están aquí. My roots are buried here. Now I've punched cattle from the Rio Grande to the cold Montana plains, and I've pushed them through New Mexico through Arizona rains. I've seen people hang on when it's been near 45 below, and the thoughts always cross my mind as to why they don't just go to a place where life is easier and nature's not so hard. But then the past comes floating back to me, and I'm in that old man's yard. I think of him and his quiet pride and the things that he has done, and I remember that if we battle back at the sun and the broiling snow and the broiling sun, we'll live our responsibilities to the lives that we love best. We will proudly stand, and in our vigil will not rest, for no matter what may lie ahead, the answer is loud and clear. Mis raíces están aquí. My roots are buried here. Now, I've been at this school since the second grade. I've seen people come and go and watched us all change into the people that we are today. And well, it's funny how time slips away, and the kids I grew up with have all changed and are now going on to make lives for themselves all across the country, myself included. And to be honest with you, I'm scared. Scared of moving to a new state, not knowing who I'll meet or what I'll end up doing there. But I know that, oh my gosh. But I'm comforted knowing that I can take pride in the fact that my roots are buried here. Those roots are buried in the connections we've made and the people around us. If we can take pride in the people we've met, the memories we've made, and the things we've learned, we can always battle back at the driving snow, the broiling sun, and the times when life gets hard. That's really one of the only things promised to us, that life will get hard. This past year has been no exception. And while life will be filled with beautiful moments and joy, those hard times will still creep up on you, whether you see them or not. But it's my opinion that if we take pride in the memories we've made, the people we've met, the things we've learned, and the family we are surrounded with. We can get through whatever comes our way. As for the class of 2021, our roots are buried here, and that's something we can all take pride in. Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to direct your attention back to Mr. Andrew Wallace and the LCHS choir for the singing of the Liberty Common High School alma mater. Feel free to sing along. The words are in your programs.
Choice, boldly one voice, virtue and gratitude in common esprit, in unity, prudence and fortitude, temperance and justice guide our hearts verily. On eagle's wings, ever on our journey, for patriot dreams, faithful and true, red, white, and blue, humbly we stand as one for our liberty. Wisdom will lead us home to our liberty.
And now it's my honor to introduce today's keynote speaker. The class of 2021 gathered earlier in the year and came to a consensus on the one faculty member from whom they wished to receive today's keynote address. The instructor chosen by this class is one of the most respected and beloved of all LCHS instructors. To borrow a description from an esteemed alum from the class of 2015, the instructor chosen by this class is somewhat of a dark horse. His students are heard crying like a bag of cats on the way to the river. As an instructor, he has enriched our understanding of history with epic stories, always punctuated here by particular idioms here. But I'll let sleeping dogs lie and cut to the chase. His agreement to speak today and to seize one more opportunity to nudge his students along the next phases of their academic journeys is a perfect example of why students love him so much. Every Liberty student who has had the privilege of being his student knows that if there does not yet exist a perfect homespun idiom for each particular situation, Mr. Mayor will invent one on the spot, and he invents them till the cows come home. So, ladies and gentlemen, please lend your ears to Liberty Commons extraordinary history instructor, Mr. Jason Mayer.
Good morning, and thank you all for attending graduation today. I'd like to start off by thanking the administration and the class of 2021 for permitting me to speak to you all today. I hope that I do you all very proud, or at the very least, I'm not an embarrassment to you. Please resist the urge at this point to take out a pristine sheet of paper. You won't need one. I would like to begin my remarks today with a story that is the perfect mix of the bizarre and the mundane. Just after spring break last year, my wife sent me on a perilous journey, a quest, you might say, to, wait for it, the grocery store. To be a bit more precise, the Safeway in Windsor. We were out of milk, and running out of milk will push any house with growing teenagers to the brink of despondency. Now, to most of you, a trip to the grocery store is a pretty ordinary adventure. But to me, a trip to the grocery store is a psychological torture that could only be drafted by the likes of Kafka or Edgar Allan Poe. Confusing signage, let's try this again. Confusing signage, aisles designed to trap you in the store as if you were in a labyrinth awaiting your meeting with a minotaur who resides within. Muzak, which dulls your senses and robs you of your cognition. And the perfectly placed chocolates and gum designed to rob you of all your earthly treasures. All of this is torture to me. Compounding the difficulty last year, of course, were the chronic shortages of everything. When I got to the store, the shelves had been picked pretty clean. No fruit, no bread, no cleaning supplies, and of course, no milk. There were exceptions to this, though. There was plenty of wood floor cleaner, plenty of the big bags of Alpo, and plenty of the DiGiorno organic mushroom artichoke pizzas. And it was in the frozen food aisle that I met him. A brief description of him is necessary at this point. In front of me, I saw a man who stood out from the other poor saps like me who were at the grocery store at the time. It wasn't his size that made him stand out or his bald head, although he was taller than I was and definitely more portly. Rather, it was his peculiar dress and mannerisms. This man donned a pair of pink Crocs and an aquamarine bathrobe. His countenance also distinguished him. Unlike the gaunt shoppers in the store at this time, he had a smile on his face and a spring in his step. While all the other shoppers at the store were trying their best to finish their business as soon as possible, he lingered. While others kept their gaze downward and their thoughts to themselves, he engaged other people, even stopping to help an old woman heft a 50-pound bag of dog chow into her cart. My chance encounter with him was brief. As I was trying to exit the store, going the wrong way on a one-way aisle, he sidestepped me, made a beeline for those aforementioned DiGiorno organic mushroom artichoke pizzas. He grabbed about 7 of those pizzas that by judging by their appearance will be the last things that humans in the face of a global crisis would ever choose to eat. And he bleated out, and I quote, "Thank you, pizza, Jesus. These things slay with Frank's hot sauce." After sliding that sizable stack under his arm, he proceeded to the self-checkout line, where he proceeded to pay with what appeared to be Ziploc bags filled with loose change. Perhaps pennies and nickels. I was too shocked to notice by that point. I thought about this bizarre encounter, about this bizarre man for some time. At first, my thoughts centered around his eccentric behavior and his assassination of hundreds of years of fashion orthodoxy. Then my thoughts turned to how and why he was able to carve out such a degree of joy in an environment where most of us certainly were not finding any joy at the time. It took me a while, but I realized what he might have lacked in fashion sense, he more than made up for in common sense and practical wisdom. And what I saw in him, to no insignificant degree, I also see in the class of 2021. Now, before you all in the class of 2021 lose your ever-loving minds, I'm not suggesting that you have the same sense of style or the same poor taste in pizza. What I do see in him is, however, what I see in you. We'll just call this guy Pizza Jesus from here on out. Pizza Jesus had a knack for making it through difficult situations. He possessed levity, ingenuity, and graciousness. I submit to you all here present that this class also possesses levity, ingenuity, and graciousness. What follows now is ironclad evidence which supports this assertion. Let's start with levity. Pizza Jesus had it, being an odd contradiction of mannerisms, style, girth coupled with mirth. The levity of this class takes on a different form, of course, but it's levity nonetheless. It comes in the form of Gabe Hoyer. His impressions of my dress, my mannerisms, and my sayings are legendary among his peers. Ask any of them and they will tell you this. As an aside, Gabe, if Morgan Freeman ever rejects my pitch to play me in my made-for-TV biography, I certainly hope you will consider it. It might be a great way to pay through college. Levity also comes in the form of Liam O'Malley and Jaquez McGee. Parker Stern. Perhaps some of you thought their corny jokes of the day or their morning announcement YouTube videos were lame, but deep down inside, you all know they were fire. Parker and Liam reached peak form on April 23rd of this year with this gem, and I quote, "Did you hear that the CEO of IKEA was just elected Prime Minister of Sweden? How long will it take them to put his cabinet together?" Yeah, that's great. There are countless examples of humor that this class has, and it will be a humor that serves you all well in the joyous and difficult times that lay ahead of you. Humor is a salve that takes the sting out of loss and disappointment and supplies one with the resolve to press on in difficult times, and you guys have it in spades. Even Cassie Michelson and her little artistic renditions in my classroom, that all pig, that was her work. Let's go next to ingenuity and adaptability. Like it or not, Pizza Jesus had it, and you guys have it too. The lack of a debit card did not stop him in his quest for organic mushroom artichoke pizza. No, he had a bag of change, and last time I checked, coins are still legal tender, and he might be the single reason why no one speaks of a coin shortage in the United States anymore. Also, he was willing to overlook the fact that the pizza he took out was utterly unpalatable. The class of 2021 has also distributed this ingenuity and adaptability. It comes in the form of my daughter. She is the only person I know who can get almost unlimited use out of a frayed aux cord. She also has the knack for getting a cell phone signal in places that most people cannot. This is particularly helpful when I need to stay current with all my Spotify history podcasts. Alyssa, if your career plans don't work out, consider electrical engineering or maybe opening a new cell phone company. Ingenuity also comes in the form of Justin Ackerman. If you ever get a car that's totaled and you want to know how to secure a salvage title so that it can be insurable again, he's your guy. If you ever want any physics help, if you ever want to know how to start a diesel tractor when it's 25 below zero, he's your guy. Ingenuity also comes in the form of Amy Johnston. By my count, there are over 60 Google shortcuts. And if I were a betting man, I would say that she knows all of them. Her knowledge of how to restore cut text for a Google Doc saved an entire personal finance lesson from utter ruin. And now all of my 7th period knows how much new cars depreciate, and it's a result of her tireless efforts. And no discussion of the evidence of the ingenuity in the class of 2021 would be complete without a discussion of Tyler Higgins. A consummate jack of all trades, proficient in soccer and rodeo. If you need any pointers about how to invest in Bitcoin, how to fix the brakes on your car, or how to get involved in investing in classic cars, he's your guy. Face it, there are very few skills out there that are more fundamental to have in a time of crisis than ingenuity and adaptability. People who don't have this skill do not emerge from these times, but fortunately, I can attest these guys have it. Next, let's talk about the few ways in which the class of 21 demonstrated graciousness. Pizza Jesus had it, you guys had it too. Not only did he grab that 50-pound bag of dog food from earlier off the top shelf of the aisle. What kind of a monster puts a big bag of food like that high in the first place? He also engaged with me long enough to give me some culinary direction. Turns out most things are better with a little bit of hot sauce. This year's seniors provide lots of evidence of that too. Look no further than the gratitude board in Mr. Lund's room. This board is peppered with expressions of gratitude from this year's seniors. Their expressions of gratitude range from the mundane to the truly sublime. My personal favorite, my education, and the youth in South Sudan. I don't know who wrote that, but that was really profound. Look no further than Emma Anderson. Now, admittedly, when I learned of Emma's first display of graciousness, I did not react in a manner of gratitude, especially when I learned that she took a couple days off last year during a push to do that. Mind you, it was right before the exam. But upon further reflection, if you're going to take a little bit of time off from my class, you could certainly do worse than making medical grade masks that for those that needed them when supplies were so short last year. And speaking of students who might have also taken a bit of time off from my classes to engage in acts of selflessness, Anto Torres comes to mind. Back in February, she came up to me at the end of a personal finance class one day and mentioned that she was working in an assisted living community and asked if I could allow her some flexibility in making some class time up. I told her not to miss class. How else would she learn about the perils of credit cards and loan sharks? Well, she missed the class every now and again. She didn't listen to me. But I suppose if you're going to miss my class, you should get some consideration if you're feeding and caring for the most vulnerable amongst us. Graciousness, like humor, is also a salve which allows people to endure difficult times, and this class displays this very important trait. At this point, I would like to cease comparing the class of 2021 to the aforementioned Pizza Jesus. I think I've milked that metaphor for all that it's worth. I'd rather like to compare the class of 2021 to a different and more distinguished class of people altogether. This senior class, by virtue of the traits they collectively possess, has much in common with some of the greatest people in human history, many of whom, like the class of 2021, had to endure some very difficult circumstances. The class of 2021 shares some of the resourcefulness of noted abolitionist and advocate for women's suffrage, Harriet Tubman. Despite being denied a formal education, despite bone-crushing poverty, and despite being the victim of repeated acts of brutality, Tubman became one of the most prolific conductors on the Underground Railroad. During the 1850s, her actions culminated in the freedom of over 70 enslaved people. And while publicly serving for a nurse in the Union Army, caring for dysentery patients, she also became increasingly involved in the clandestine activities of the Union Army. Her reputation for leading large groups of people undetected, of course, making its way up the Union chain of command. She led a secret Union raid on a plantation in South Carolina in 1863. Over 750 slaves were freed in this expedition. Many of them would serve subsequently in all-black regiments of the Union Army. Much of the financial wherewithal needed by Tubman to undertake these actions came from her sales of two things, root beer and fruit pie. Though the difficulties faced by the class of 2021 are quite a bit different, the resourcefulness and the ingenuity of this class is definitely there. This class also shares some of the same capacity for graciousness as does Franklin Delano Roosevelt. At the age of 39, FDR became afflicted with polio. In the process, he lost all of his mobility from the waist down. Instead of wallowing in his affliction, Roosevelt committed to a life of public service and a life of helping others. Though paralyzed from the waist down, he never lost hope that he might recover the use of his legs. In 1924, he read about a young man who appeared to have regained his ability to walk by swimming in the warm waters of a resort in the Appalachian Mountains. Inspired by this story, Roosevelt traveled to Warm Springs, Georgia, took the waters, and became so convinced of the spring's restorative qualities that he not only bought the resort, but he soon turned it into the nation's first major center for rehabilitative therapy. He established two major charities dedicated to the eradication of polio. One of them you guys would recognize today as the March of Dimes. The same kind of public spirit is infused in this class too. We see it in the actions of Emma and Anto and in the quiet actions of countless others in this class. Third, the class of 2021 in many ways resembles the humor of Abraham Lincoln, in substance, though not always in style. Through the use of fables and mimicry, Lincoln established an easy rapport with a wide variety of audiences, relied upon a sense of humor to weather the most difficult times, and used his wit to buoy the spirit of others. His quick wit and power of association were again evidenced when he was informed in 1864 that many dissatisfied Republicans were trying to nominate John C. Fremont to oppose him in that election. His informant told them that instead of the thousands that were expected to attend the convention, only about 400 had appeared. Struck by the number, Lincoln reached for a Bible on his desk, and after thumbing through a few pages, found and read these words, "And for everyone that was in distress, and for everyone that was in debt, and for everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men." Just as Lincoln used this type of humor to bolster the spirits of his supporters, so the class of 2021 collectively uses its humor to sustain themselves and others through difficult times. As I conclude my remarks today, there's 3 things I want you guys to understand. First, I want you guys to understand that you possess many of the hallmark characteristics that will enable you to endure hardship and will predispose you to a meaningful life full of happiness. This does not mean that success and happiness are guaranteed to you, graduates. Only your actions moving forward can guarantee that. My hope is that when you face difficult times in the future, times in which you feel an enormous amount of dread and anxiety, you will remember the actions which inspired this speech, and this in turn will give you the resolve needed to face these challenges head on. Use these examples and the examples of those in your life around you to catapult yourself to greatness. Remember the actions of your classmates, as their examples will clearly illuminate for them a path moving forward. Remember that no leaders are born in comfort, and all leaders were made great, in part, by their response to adversity. Accept that you have the same penchant for greatness as the Lincolns, the FDRs, and the Harriet Tubmans of the world. You're cut from the same cloth. Look to those also who accompanied you on your your journey this year. Freudian slip, sorry guys. Calm down. The teachers who took on literally other careers as television producers so that you who were online this year could have access to in-person instruction. Teachers had to wear a lot of hats this year. In addition to being TV producers, teachers also had to play the roles of counselor, diplomat, engineer, and first responder. By my estimation, the extension of the school day to accommodate the guidelines necessary for in-person instruction this year meant that the average teacher in this building worked an additional 12 school days this year, and this is a very, very conservative estimate. Should also say a few words to our administrators, Mr. Lovely, Ms. Kearney, Doc Rob, Mr. Schaefer, Mr. Churchill, Ms. Stoltzfus, who sacrificed their summer, their breaks, and whatever spare time they had so that an authentic classroom experience could happen in accordance with local public health guidelines. All that contact tracing did not happen in a vacuum, folks. All those face shields did not fall from the sky, and our schools did not come originally with air filtration systems and Zoom. These things had to be ordered, they had to be implemented. Now, I didn't calculate their time investment because, as you guys can clearly already see, the math became way too complicated for me. Also, think of your parents who proctored your tests and administered your assignments so that your test results were actual reflections of the knowledge that you gained this year. Your parents who guided and supported you through the periods of soul-crushing isolation that you faced this year, and who also had to take on a secondary career of sorts, IT specialists, who had to troubleshoot a myriad of technical issues that invariably popped up this year. I did not calculate their time because your parents don't calculate the time they spend with you. They love you unconditionally, and no amount of time in this world could even remotely quantify that love. All those of you around you who battled adversity so that you could have access to a world-class education this year, they deserve your gratitude. One more thing before I yield the podium. Please also know that you'll never walk alone and that you'll always have in my home, a home in my heart, in the hearts of my colleagues, your parents and family. Your life stories are now at this point and officially a you to know and for me to find out proposition. You'll always have a home here at Liberty, and your imprint in our school will be visible for years to come. Thank you.
The mission statement of Liberty Common School represents parental, patriotic leadership and education reform, an actual revolution in public education. And so at this point in our program, I, as the headmaster, venture to connect our modern revolution in a patriotic way to some revolutionary story that continues to inspire us today. It's one more opportunity, students, for just one last history lesson before we hand out the diplomas. When I was thinking about an historic occasion that relates to this class, the class of 2021, my mind was drawn to a famous political campaign, the famous election of 48. It was 1148 before Christ. And history records that in the years leading up to 1148 BC, the ancient people of Israel thrived under a very good leader who possessed all the virtues that we venerate here at Liberty Common School. This great leader's name was Gideon. Now, around 1148 BC, Gideon dies. And immediately upon the death of this ideal leader, the race to replace him was on. It was an old-fashioned, old-world political contest of epic proportions. Of his 72 surviving sons, the ever-ambitious Abimelech was the first to declare his candidacy. And Abimelech ran what in these days might be regarded as a negative campaign. He hatched a bold strategy designed to neutralize his competitors early. In fact, he and his campaign managers murdered all of his brothers, except for Jotham, the youngest, who somehow managed to escape the carnage. And just as Abimelech was about to be inaugurated, Jotham appeared on a hillside nearby, calling out for righteous, capable Israelites to come forward and assert honorable, legitimate leadership. He wanted more candidates, but none would come forward. And history records that Jotham pleaded for a virtuous leader through a parable. And the parable went like this, where he equated the people of Israel to a forest. And he said that the trees needed a king for themselves, he explained. And the olive tree was asked to take the job, but it refused, not wanting to give up its valuable oil, by which populations are sustained and gods are honored. The fig tree was asked next to serve, but it refused, not wanting to give up its sweet fruit, which is valued for its nutrients and sustenance. And then the grapevine was offered the job, but it refused, not wanting to give up its honored fruit from which wine is made to cheer both gods and men. And eventually, after exhausting all preferable options, the thorny bramble came forward and was offered the throne. And it accepted. And chaos and misery ensued. Now, the point of the parable should be rather obvious. The youngest son of Gideon, the one furthest from the throne, was pleading with the people. And after hearing and considering Jotham's parable, none of the honored people, no one in the tribe, would step up to be a candidate. And the people of Israel went ahead and crowned Abimelech as their king anyway. And as history records, chaos and misery ensued for many years. Now, the moral of the story is also the case for being all in with your friends, with your family, with your community, your state, and your country. Now, this class of 2021 is an all-in kind of class, and that's why it reminds me of Jotham's parable. Their final years in high school were threatened by a global pandemic, and that's on top of all the normal challenges: competitive college placements, scholarship applications, working side jobs, personal health and family issues, difficult interpersonal relationships that just go along with being young adults, and all that while attending a rigorous school, maybe the most rigorous school. They've stood up to the general cultural decay, moral degradation, youthful cynicism, and many other harmful trends that bear down on young people and which can turn young people to sit it out at best or to become toxic agents themselves in society at their worst. This class is a class of conquerors, not the kind that vanquish others, but the kind that dominate by projecting essential virtues such as prudence, temperance, justice, fortitude, and wisdom. This class is defined by the characteristics of good people, the all-in kind who harnessed an ethos of improvise, adapt, overcome, and love, and have earned this memorable day. As we sit here, having come through all of that, to have a normal graduation ritual with real, palpable, virtuous accomplishments to celebrate, with authentic and actual meaningful diplomas, credentials of serious academic achievement to carry with you, and with which to open doors, this is kind of spectacular. Don't underappreciate it. Don't underestimate it. Graduates, I promise you that wherever your next leg of your journey takes you, others will need you. Based upon what you've learned, the depth of your knowledge, your possession of virtue, and your experience as essential parts of a purposeful community, others will look to you. I know this, especially in chaotic and crucial moments. And so remember this, in the context of this special graduation, when good people are too busy, too preoccupied, too predestined, or too disinterested to rise to a truly important calling, thorny brambles always do. Chaos and misery always ensue when that happens. British statesman Edmund Burke said it more eloquently and in another way. He said, "All that is necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing." Your class of 2021 is a class of doers. It is a class of integrity. Now, on behalf of the entire faculty, the administration, the support staff, we've enjoyed working with you as your primary and secondary educators. You have been energizing, exciting, spirited, thrilling, and inspiring. Your academic achievements are one thing. Your virtue is the main thing. And this explains in part why I'm especially honored and proud to commend you now to our board chair for graduation. So seniors, you ready for that? All right. Let's get on with the official act of commencement, the central purpose of this holy ritual, our final time together as instructor, administrators, headmasters, and students. Madam Chairman, Nora DeFrancesco, and the members of the Liberty Common Board of Directors, faculty, parents, grandparents, alumni, honored guests, and graduates, Liberty Common High School's 9th class of seniors has exceeded the high academic standards and expectations of the Liberty Common Board of Directors and the faculty. It has lived up to its class motto, Omnis Vae Tui Stabiliant. Let all your ways be steadfast. The character of each member has been well examined by the faculty and administration, and I warrant to you now that these candidates are indeed in firm possession of the school's foundation stones: responsibility, integrity, respect, perseverance, cooperation, self-control, and citizenship. As young scholars, their character is defined by the school's capstone virtues, gratitude, patriotism, and by the cardinal virtues of prudence, temperance, justice, and fortitude. Madam Chairman, these candidates fully understand and are inclined toward beauty, truth, goodness, and perfection. They carry with them from Liberty its keystone virtue of wisdom. They have paved the way of a young high school and branded it with a stamp of achievement like no other. They have set the school's annual composite SAT score at 1287.9. This relatively small school has produced 5 national merit finalists from its small class. That's an astounding number, by the way. This class has pulled down more than $5.5 million in scholarship awards. Again, an unheard of figure. Their accomplishments, based on multiple independent assessments, have propelled the class of 2021 to attain some of the highest academic achievement scores in all Colorado high schools and in all of the state's history. And it has propelled the school to an elite tier among all American high school institutions. They also carry with them our profound admiration and our hearts. The character, virtue, leadership, and grace shown by the men and women of this particular class inspires awe. Their mark upon our school, our community, our state, and our country, and the world is absolutely beautiful, a sentiment I express on behalf of the entire faculty. Madam Chairman, as headmaster of Liberty Common School, I hereby represent to you and to the Board of Directors and to all present that these assembled candidates, through their hard work and demonstrated scholarship, have not only earned but have added sterling credit to the Liberty Common High School diplomas which they are about to receive. Their long journey along a steep path through Liberty Common School, as prescribed by the Liberty Charter, its founding mission statement, and policies, is now complete. It is my honor and privilege, Madam Chairman, to formally endorse and commend the candidates for graduation and have them now declared by name for presentation. Principal Torgan Lovely, please come forward and call the roll of the Liberty Common High School class of 2021 for presentation and graduation.
Justin Ackerman. Justin attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to pursue a career in agricultural engineering. Justin Ackerman. Emma Anderson. Emma attended Liberty for 4 years. Emma plans on taking a gap year and hopes to attend Baylor University. She will major in child and family studies and will be on the pre-med track. Emma Anderson. Hannah Armstrong. Hannah attended Liberty Common for 6 years. She plans on moving to Wisconsin to start a new adventure and possibly attend the local university. Hannah Armstrong. Carolina Babcock. Carrie attended Liberty Common for 5 years and will attend Montana State University, planning to study music education. Carrie Babcock. Lucas Barber. Lucas attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to study in the Wheaton College Conservatory of Music and will run for Wheaton Thunder. Lucas Barber. Calvin Blanc. Calvin attended Liberty Common for 4 years and plans to major in electrical engineering at the University of Calgary. Calvin Blanc. Benjamin Brayman. Ben attended Liberty Common for 4 years. Ben plans to study mathematics at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. Benjamin Brayman. Kiara Chavez. Kiara attended Liberty Common for 11 years. She will be attending Colorado State University and plans to pursue a degree in health and exercise science. Kiara Chavez. Trenton Crouch. Trenton attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He will serve in the United States Marine Corps Infantry. Trenton Crouch. Mario Di Matteo. Mario attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He will attend Colorado State University and pursue a Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Mario Di Matteo. Caden Dollar. Caden attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to play football at Colorado State University. I love you, boy. I love you too. Caden Dollar. Caroline Dutton. Caroline attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Benedictine College and plans to pursue a degree in political science and English. Caroline Dutton. Haley Farrow. Haley attended Liberty Common for 2 years. She will pursue a double major degree in entrepreneurship and real estate at Colorado State University. She plans to own her own business. Haley Farrow. Jonah Feist. Jonah attended Liberty Common for 11 years. He will be attending the University of Alabama and pursuing his MBA. Jonah Feist. Olivia Frazier. Olivia attended Liberty Common for 11 years. She will attend Kennecott Link Year in Branson, Missouri. Following her gap year, she plans to attend Union University in Jackson, Tennessee, and study nursing. Olivia Frazier. Alex Goldfein. Alex attended Liberty Common for 11 years. He plans to pursue a career in carpentry. Alex Goldfein. Quinlan Gregg. Quinlan attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He will attend Montana State University and plans to get a degree in engineering. Quinlan Gregg. Cooper Gyree. Cooper attended Liberty Common for 11 years. He will attend Colorado Mesa University to pursue a degree in construction management. Cooper Gyree. Corinne Hansen. Corinne attended Liberty Common for 11 years. Corinne will attend the University of Colorado Boulder and plans to pursue the program of exploratory studies and minor in musical theater. Corinne Hansen. Evan Hansen. Evan attended Liberty Common for 11 years. He will be attending Montana State University to study English. Evan Hansen. Elspeth Harkey. Elspeth attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend the University of Colorado Boulder in the fall. Elspeth Harkey. Jillian Hepworth. Jillian attended Liberty Common for 10 years. She will attend Montana State University Honors College in beautiful Bozeman in hopes of attaining a double major in mechanical engineering and computer science. Jillian Hepworth. Tyler Higgins. Tyler attended Liberty Common for 10 years. He plans to attend Front Range Community College, then transfer to Colorado State University. Tyler Higgins. Colton Hodges. Colton attended Liberty Common for 7 years. He plans to work at BEIU and pursue a future in concrete management. Yeah, it's on a different line. Colton Hodges. Sydney Hoffinger. Sydney attended Liberty Common for 12 years. She will attend the Community College of Denver to study radiologic technology. Sydney Hoffinger. Paul Howley. Paul attended Liberty Common for 6 years. He will be attending University of Colorado Boulder in the program of exploratory studies. Paul Howley. Gabriel Hoyer. Gabriel attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He will attend Arizona State University and intends to pursue a degree in physics. Gabriel Hoyer. Amy Johnston. Amy attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Pitzer College and study philosophy with a minor in media studies. Amy Johnston. Isabella Jewell. Isabella attended Liberty Common for 6 years. She plans to attend Grand Canyon University, where she will pursue a degree in biology with an emphasis in pre-med and a minor in Spanish. Isabella Jewell. Peyton Kaiser. Peyton attended Liberty Common for 4 years. Peyton will participate in the World Cup race gap year, where she will do international missions and serve in Costa Rica, Romania, and Cambodia for 9 months. Peyton Kaiser. Isa Kenjabekova. Isa attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Imperial College London and pursue an Earth and Planetary Science degree. Isa Kenjabekova. Griffin Kiesecker. Griffin attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He will attend the University of Colorado Boulder, study computer science, and pursue a commission as lieutenant in the United States Air Force. Griffin Kiesecker. Kylie Klopp. Kylie attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will spend a year in Tennessee with her family before she attends Appalachian State University to study social work and family law. Kylie Klopp. Samuel Kuppinger. Sam attended Liberty Common for 7 years. He plans to attend CSU in the fall, pursuing business finance with a concentration in real estate. Samuel Kuppinger. Rebecca Lajeunesse. Rebecca attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She plans on attending Front Range Community College in the fall and plans to pursue a career in international photojournalism. Rebecca Lajeunesse. Kai McLaughlin. Kai attended Liberty Common for 11 years. Kai plans to attend college and study computer science. Kai McLaughlin. Alyssa Mayer. Alyssa attended Liberty Common for 8 years. She plans to study psychology at Colorado Mesa to prepare for a career in either neuropharmacology or forensic science. You did good, Pops. Alyssa Mayer. Grace McCormick. Grace attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Texas A&M University to pursue a degree in biochemistry. Grace McCormick. Ethan McLaughlin. Ethan attended Liberty Common for 5 years. He will attend Arizona State University and plans to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering with a minor in philosophy. Ethan McLaughlin. Cassandra Michelson. Cassie attended Liberty Common for 6 years. She plans to attend Colorado State University and pursue a chemical engineering degree to seek a career in pediatric surgery. Cassandra Michelson. Noah Morgan. Noah attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to attend the University of Chicago to pursue a degree in economics. Noah Morgan. Avery Nevins. Avery attended Liberty Common for 5 years. He will attend St. Olaf College in Minnesota, pursuing a degree in music education while also swimming. Avery Nevins. Carlin Norman. Colin attended Liberty Common for 8 years. He will attend the University of Colorado Boulder to study. Gotta start sometime. Colin Norman. Jordan Price. Jordan attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will be attending Colorado Mesa University for baking and pastry arts. Jordan Price. Lauren Robinson. Lauren attended Liberty Common for 8 years. She will attend Brigham Young University, Idaho, and study biology with an emphasis in zoology. Lauren Robinson. Keegan Rose. Keegan attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to pursue a degree in mechanical engineering. Keegan Rose. Jaden Scarpella. Jaden attended Liberty for 5 years. He plans to take a gap year. Jaden Scarpella. Joan Shoemaker. Joan attended Liberty Common for 6 years. He will attend Colorado Community College and study radiology. Joan Shoemaker. Elizabeth Skalicki. Liz attended Liberty Common for 6 years. She will take a gap year in Virginia and pursue a career in design. Elizabeth, oh, not yet. Elizabeth Skalicki. Christina Smirnova. Christina attended Liberty Common for 3 years. She will take a gap year and travel around Europe. Upon her return, she will attend the Santa Monica Community College and pursue her career in business and international banking. Christina Smirnova. Parker Stern. Parker attended Liberty Common for 9 years. He will attend Oral Roberts University and plans to pursue a pre-med degree. Parker Stern. Jalen Strong. Jalen attended Liberty for 10 years. She will attend Front Range Community College and plans to pursue a degree in nursing. Jalen Strong. Isabella Swanson. Isabella attended Liberty Common for 9 years. She will attend Front Range and then transfer into the exercise program at CSU. She plans to earn a degree in physical therapy. Isabella Swanson. Bethany Tafoya. Bethany attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will be attending the University of Montana in beautiful Missoula, studying linguistics and graphic design. Bethany Tafoya. Sonny Taylor. Sonny attended Liberty Common for 11 years. She will attend the University of Chicago and plans to study molecular engineering. Sonny Taylor. Antonella Torres Parata. Antonella attended Liberty Common for 4 years. Anto will attend Colorado State University's honors program and plans to double major in social work and history with a concentration in general history and minor in French in order to prepare for law school. Antonella Torres Parata. Phoenix Tran. Phoenix attended Liberty Common for 4 years. He plans to study civil engineering at Colorado State University. Phoenix Tran. Ashley Tyrell. Ashley attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Brigham Young University in Provo, Utah this fall and begin studying in the pre-med program. Ashley Tyrell. J.C. Verderheim. J.C. attended Liberty Common for 7 years. She will attend Grand Canyon University to get her Bachelor's of Science in Nursing and then will eventually work as a physician's assistant. J.C. Verderheim. Bradley Walter. Brad attended Liberty Common for 5 years. He will attend Arizona State University and plans to pursue a degree in construction management. Bradley Walter. Cale Washburn. Cale attended Liberty Common for 3 years. He plans to attend Concordia University on a shooting scholarship and major in business administration. Cale Washburn. Gwen Willis. Gwen attended Liberty Common for 4 years. She will attend Colorado State University and plans to pursue degrees in chemistry and math. Gwen Willis. Corbin Dayharsh. Corbin attended Liberty Common for 13 years. He will attend Colorado Mesa University to pursue a business degree. After his first semester, he plans to dual enroll in Western Colorado Community College to get certified in welding. Corbin Dayharsh. Alex Deal. Alex attended Liberty Common for 13 years. He will attend Baylor University to study engineering. Alex Deal. Emma Fishbeck. Emma attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She will attend Baylor University and major in health science studies on the pre-PA track. Emma Fishbeck. Gatto! Alex attended Liberty Common for 13 years. He will be attending Creighton University, majoring in nursing. Alexander Gatto! Anna Johnson! Anna attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She will attend Colorado State University's honors program, studying biomedical sciences on a pre-med track. Anna Johnson! Justin Clean! Justin attended Liberty Common for 13 years. He will attend the University of Nebraska and study electrical engineering. Justin Clean! Catherine Nab! Katie attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She plans to pursue an associate's degree in music theater at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City. Catherine Nab! Liam O'Malley! Liam attended Liberty Common for 13 years. Liam is headed to the University of Nebraska at Lincoln to study electrical engineering. Liam O'Malley! Nathan Redstone! Nate attended Liberty Common for 13 years. He will attend Colorado State University and pursue a double major in finance and kinesiology. Nate Redstone! Micah Sanfilippo! Micah attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She will attend Creighton University and plans to pursue a degree in physical therapy with a minor in Spanish. Micah Sanfilippo! Ava Windler! Ava attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She will attend Emerson College and plans to pursue a degree in theater and performance. Ava Windler. And Dara Wren. Andy attended Liberty Common for 13 years. She'll attend Colorado State University and go into investigations within the criminal justice field. And Dara Wren!
Would Liam and Parker please join me? Over the years, our school has been blessed to host a rather large number of foreign exchange students from literally around the planet. This year, we hosted 4 of them. Let me tell you, this year's foreign exchange students have been absolutely amazing. They have integrated fully into our school and formed bonds with our students, our school, and our community that will surely last a lifetime. At this time, we commend our foreign exchange students as splendid ambassadors of their countries.
As school captains, Liam and I are a part of what we call Travel Thursdays at LCHS. Each month, everyone in the school is invited to attend a presentation by a different foreign exchange student, where we all learn about their country and their lives back home. Sometimes we enjoy ethnic food, and we always enjoy learning more about how our exchange peers live. We learn about their schools and their languages, and how kids grow up in other parts of the world.
Through Travel Thursday presentations and through our daily interactions with our exchange students, brothers and sisters, we have totally fallen in love with our foreign classmates. It is difficult to reconcile the fact that our year together has come to an end and that they'll be returning home in just a few weeks. Just last week, we were all studying for final exams together, competing in sports together, walking the halls of our school together, and celebrating the accomplishment of lots of high school milestones together. We knew this difficult day was coming, but we didn't really appreciate how soon we'd have to say goodbye. As we stand here now, it seems that just like yesterday, we first welcomed you into our remarkable school. Yet we have to come to know you and love you with such affection and fondness that for us, the world now seems so much smaller and so much more connected. Please know that Liberty Common High School will always be your school, and you will always be an important part of our mighty class of 2021. You are truly magnificent and wonderful classmates. From the bottom of our hearts, Parker and I thank you for summoning the courage to temporarily leave your homes, families, and countries to spend a year with us at Liberty Common High School. Thank you for being brilliant ambassadors for your countries. Thank you for adding to the character and culture of Liberty Common High School. And thank you for being an important part of our school's history. Thank you for the blessings with your friendship, for teaching us about your heritage and customs, and making for our senior year quite literally one of a worldwide achievement. We will miss you, but we will never forget you. Today, we say goodbye.
In Italian, arrivederci.
In French, au revoir.
In Swedish, farvel. Tonight, each exchange student will receive a special certificate of completion. Succeeding at our school, and in a second language, by the way, is something few students in the world could accomplish, and it is worth commemorating tonight as they graduate with our class. Secondly, they will receive an LCHS challenge coin with the school seal on one side and depictions of our capstone virtues on the other. Finally, each exchange student will receive a special gift that makes all the rest of us envious. As you might imagine, there are a few perks to having a headmaster who is also a former member of the U.S. Congress. Over the past few weeks, Mr. Schaefer arranged for U.S. flags to be flown over the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. in your honor. Each of you will receive that flag and that flew in your name along with a certificate. For example, Julia's reads as follows. This flag is presented by the Honorable Ken Buck to receive Julia Baresi upon successful completion and valorous achievement as a foreign exchange student on one academic year at Liberty Common High School in Fort Collins, Colorado, and for being an exceptional ambassador and representative of the beautiful people of Italy. And now I introduce Mr. Rick Rona, a decorated veteran officer of the United States Army and our Chief Operating Officer. Thank you.
Will the following students please come forward to receive your certificate of completion and the flag of the United States of America? Julia Barreze. Julia is going back to Italy to finish high school and hopes to return to attend to Colorado State University next year. Leah Chorney. Leah plans to finish her last year of high school back in Sweden and hopes to come back to the United States for college. Domenico Pinto. Domenico will return to Italy to finish high school. And Clara Thibault. Clara would like to save her money for a period of 10 years for travel and then go back to school and become an actress and singer or a pastry chef. The entire class of 2021 will participate in handing forward the Star-Spangled Banner. Exchange students, each of you are about to receive a flag of the United States of America, each flown in Washington, D.C. over our nation's Capitol building in your name. Will the class of 2021 please present the flags to your international peers now? This is the flag of the United States of America. It is an emblem of an honorable nation organized upon a firm belief in the power and importance of the individual. Many brave men and women have given their lives, their fortunes, and their sacred honor to advance the principles that this flag represents. That all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Throughout your exchange year at Liberty Common High School, you have begun each school day participating with your classmates in the Pledge of Allegiance to this flag and the republic for which it stands. As Americans, we believe all human beings are created equal, no matter where on the planet they may reside, no matter their circumstances, and that all are endowed by nature's God with the same natural and unalienable rights. These timeless principles form the basis for the philosophy, the curriculum, and indeed the underlying purpose of Liberty Common High School. Accept these flags from your American peers. Take them to your homes as a vivid and lasting reminder of America's admiration of you, and as a symbol of our affection for you and for your countrymen. Especially on this occasion of this hallowed day, and as Americans look forward next week to one of our most important national holidays of Memorial Day. We have no doubt that the many heroes and heroines who have given the last full measure of devotion in the defense of our glorious republic would be proud that these sacred flags have flown over our land in your names and are now being entrusted to you as a symbol of peace, fidelity, and enduring friendship. Congratulations upon the completion of your exchange year at Liberty Common High School. E pluribus unum.
As chairman of Liberty's Board of Directors, and on behalf of other volunteer parents who serve on the board, it's my honor to present to you the graduates of Liberty Common High School, class of 2021. Congratulations to each grandparent, parent, sibling, and relative of this outstanding class for educating your graduate in such a spectacular way. Parents, thank you for choosing Liberty Common School for educating your students. To the graduates, congratulations on achieving your Liberty alumni status. Liberty will always be your school, and Liberty will always be proud of you. As you move onward, I have some important requests. Please find ways to stay in touch with your alma mater. I invite you to maintain communication and support for this unique institution in ways that will assist in continuous instructional improvement for future Liberty students. It's our fervent hope and intention that you will always project prudence, temperance, justice, fortitude, gratitude, patriotism, and that wisdom will always incline you toward that which is true, beautiful, good, and perfect. You've worked hard for this day. Liberty Common School wishes you well along the pathways of your bright futures. Bravo.
My name is Gwen Willis, and as salutatorian, I will guide our class in a few closing traditions. It is my honor and privilege to lead our class in officially moving our tassel from right to left. Classmates, please stand. This symbolic gesture is a traditional indication that we are now no longer high school students, but actual graduates who have officially embarked on the next phase of our academic journeys. Congratulations, fellow alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, before the alumni, the faculty, administration, board of directors, and I depart the stage, I offer thanks to some special people who have helped make our graduation so meaningful. In gratitude, the class of 2021 thanks our Liberty Orchestra under the direction of Mr. Dave Lunn, and the Liberty Choir under the direction of Mr. Andrew Wallace. We thank all of the Liberty alumni who came back to celebrate with us today. Thank you for showing us the way forward and preparing us by example for this day. Thank you to the underclassmen and junior high students, now our former schoolmates, for being here today to celebrate with us. We owe our accomplishments in part to you, and we are counting on you to break all of our records, support all of our achievements, and exceed us all in virtue. Thank you to all the kindergartners and their parents who helped us graduate tonight. In 12 years, I don't doubt the LCHS class of 2023 will be the best class ever. You can do it. Thanks to everyone for attending, for supporting us through the years, for celebrating this special day with us, and for your continued support as we enter our next phases of life's journey. As we conclude our ceremony, I direct your attention to our mighty orchestra. It will perform our recessional as my classmates and I recess from the stage as proud alumni of our alma mater, Liberty Common High School. This concludes our graduation ceremony.